Hello everyone, Alec DeLorean here, and I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Now today we have a brand new series that I'm starting that I'm going to do with every single hunter in the game. So before we actually start it, if you want to see your hunter next, let me know in the comment section below. But this one is a for or against, so I'm going to stack up all the positives about this hunter and then all the negatives about this hunter. Maybe negatives and positives, that isn't the correct word, like my likes and dislikes, I guess that might be better. But we're going to talk about all of that and then have just like a final thoughts to say, is this character in the meta at the minute, or if you need to level them up to be viable, stuff like that. So we'll go for all that. But before we get into it, if you would like to join the Patreon or Discord, the links are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, this content, and all things Star Wars related, be sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the video. Okay, so the first one we have is Rieve. She is the one that was requested most. I did have a little poll to see who wanted to go first, and Rieve, Arentall, and Sprocket were all joint first. So I'm just going based on Rieve is the first person, then it's Arentall, then it's Sprocket, and then after that, we'll see. But yes, the Rieve is the first one, but I don't want to keep this a very long video, so let's just go straight into it. So we have the pros section, and she has a lot of pros, I'll give you that. Rieve is a very, very good hunter to start off with, as she can absolutely destroy some teams if you get to learn how to play her properly. So the first pro that I have for her is she has fantastic mobility. I really enjoy any hunter who has really good mobility, because that also really helps with survivability. Yes, they may be squishier, but then if you can get out of a situation very quickly, go get a health power up and then come back to the fight with nearly full health compared to your compared to the enemy, then that's a good thing in my book. So yes, mobility is her strong suit. She has like so much to actually get around the map and do well in a fight with, because they all do damage. So the second one is her saber throw. Her saber throw is super powerful. It's really good, and I absolutely love using it on enemy scorers, purely because when you use the saber throw, if you throw it, it goes through them, but then when it comes back, it can hit them for the second time. And if you do that on scorers successfully, you kill any scorer in one shot, no matter how high the level is of the scorer. If you get that double hit with the saber throw, scorer's done for. I don't know, I can't remember if anyone else is one shot with that, but even so, saber throw is so strong that most people go down to nearly dead with just this one ability. So that is a very definite pro in my book. Now the second one is her ultimate. She has a super strong ultimate, and I think everyone knows that. And it also is really good no matter what rank you are. If you are Bronzium, it is absolutely OP. If you are Chromium, is that the middle one? Rhodium. If you're a Rhodium, it's really strong. And in Kyber, it's also still really strong, because you stun everyone inside it, which potentially could be all 4 enemies. And then you and all of your team have a free chance to just do absolutely massive damage on the enemies, most likely killing anyone who gets caught in this ultimate. So that's why this ultimate, yes, is really strong. So the second one is her deflect. She has very strong deflect. So if you compare it to J3, he does have a deflect. When he returns the blasters, he doesn't do as much damage as Rieve, and Rieve does really well, especially if you can get headshots with them. It's very hard to do so, but if you can melt down a sentinel who doesn't have a shield up him in a matter of seconds if they're just shooting you freely. Yes, her damage on her deflect is very strong as well. And then another positive outside of just in-gameplay stuff is she has some of the best skins in the game. Now, I don't know if you've gone through all the skins for every single hunter. Every hunter has a really nice skin, at least one. And then there's some hunters like Rieve, who has just an absolute collection of fantastic skins, and Rieve is a pure example of why I want to go to Zynga and be like, hey, give us a favorites list so we can favorite all of our skins for each hunter, and then have a random mode, so then you can put it on random, and every match it cycles through all of your favorites that you've added, so then you don't have to stick with one skin, or you don't have to manually change it yourself. You can just add them to the favorites, and then a different match you might have the Maul skin, then a different match you might have the Starkiller skin. So yeah, she has some of the best skins of the game, but you can't really utilize it because you have to change them yourself, which isn't very viable. And then the other one is that she is very, very strong against healers and damage hunters. Now I say this because, like I said earlier, Scorer, you can one-shot her with saber throw, but even outside of that, if you hit them once with the saber throw, you get your lightsaber back, they're still alive. You can just quickly dash onto them or jump onto them or just smack them in the face. And it's the same situation for most damage and healers as well. You can do really, really well against Zaina because you can keep up with her and her role. Do really, really well against Sprocket as long as you take out the heal. And then that's all the healer's done. And then damage, you're basically very strong against anyone who also doesn't have any mobility. So Utuni, you can usually deal with very easily unless you don't have your abilities up. But a lot of the times you do. So yeah, she's very, very strong against most hunters in the game, which is a great situation to be in for her. And I think, yeah, that's the end of the pros list. Some very, very strong points there. And now let's go into the cons. So this is what Rieve does not like, hence her face. So the first one is that she's squishy. She has the right of being squishy. If she wasn't squishy, she would be the most OP character in the game because she's so strong at offense that if she wasn't squishy, there'd be no way to deal with her. So even though it is a con, it feels justified to have it there, which is annoying as there are some times, say if you are playing against a lot of tanks or even if you're playing against high ranks and you're squishy, a lot of people know how to deal with Rieve. That can make it quite difficult for her. So always be wary. You can't just always run in, do a massive amount of damage and expect to kill everyone. Pick your targets and do burst damage, like jump in, kill someone or kill 2 people, then get out of there and then come back full health. Just keep dropping in and out and doing it, playing this way. You might not get as many kills, but your death toll will come down much more because there's so many times when I forget to do this myself and I have a load of deaths even though I have a lot of kills because I just jump in like, and then I die. So yeah, just be wary of who you attack. Now, the next one is that she's high difficulty. I say this because she is easy to get into, but to master her, it's a bit of a high difficulty. So you want to use the right rotation of abilities and you want to be able to effectively use her saber throw so then you don't throw it and miss the first time, wait for it to go all the way out and then come back in. Like there's an art to angling the saber throw to make it so then you hit twice and at maximum length where it doesn't go past the enemy. Like a lot of people do it so you throw the saber at their feet, so then as soon as it hits the feet, it hits the ground and comes back to you. Whereas if you do it through the body, it has to go all the way past them and then back over. So you're saving time doing it that way is very useful. She's very high difficulty to get used to, but once you master her, I've come across some dangerous Rieves in my time. So the next one is the opposite side of the deflect. So the deflect, she does a lot of damage, but her stamina is really, really not great. So she is like the opposite of J3 where he has really good stamina, whereas she doesn't. So if a sentinel is shooting you, you're more likely to run out of your stamina before he runs out of his battery heat. So be wary of your deflect. You can't just use it as like, oh no, I'm going to die. So, all right, I'm blocking and I'm safe whilst I get around this corner. Your stamina is very, very low. So be wary of it. Use it to your advantage though. There's no harm in using it, but maybe you could use it to help with your abilities on cooldown. Maybe they're about to come off, so just stand there with your saber up, make them scared, and then just all out attack with your abilities. So that's how I do it, but yes, her deflect stamina is not the greatest. And then I think this is the last one. It's just the opposite of the first slide where she is weak-ish against tanks. Now I say ish because she can do very well against tanks. Don't get me wrong about that. She's good against everyone, but she's just better against damage and supports rather than tanks because tanks have a lot of health, they have a lot of survivability, and because your burst damage, once you've done all of your damage, you're kind of like waiting for your ability to come back, and that makes you vulnerable to where that's where tanks can out damage you just because of the amount of time that you're in a fight or something like that. So be wary against going against tanks. That's why when you play Rieve, you basically just want to just target the supports, and when there's no supports around, go for the damage hunters. Then let the rest of your team deal with the tanks, I guess. So Then we are going on to our final thoughts. As you can tell, Rieve is very interested as what I'm going to about to tell about her. So hopefully she doesn't kill me after this. Hopefully I have some good news. But yes, the first of all, she is a semi-meta hunter. I've put that in green as well, just because it's a good thing. She is semi because I feel like at higher ranks, you don't see her as much just because she's super squishy and she's very situational. She's really, really good in some aspects, whereas there's just better hunters on other things. I think at higher ranks, yeah, she falls off a bit, but anywhere before anywhere before Kyber, I feel like she thrives in. So if you want to use her whilst you climb up through the ranks, by all means, go for it. She is fantastic. She is definitely meta if you're below Kyber, I'm pretty sure. And then the next thing is, do you need to level Rieve high for her to be viable? Now, what I mean by this is, so when you level up your hunter and they start at level 1 and you're going up 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 25, you get at certain levels, you get different boosts to your abilities. So you might get, this gives you a slow for an extra 10% now. So you're at 20% out of whatever. Or this gives you, at level 4, you get an extra 5 damage on your saber throw. Stuff like that. So is she better? Like, is she much better at level 25 versus at level 1? And the answer is no. You can pick her up straight away. You might do a little bit amount of damage less, but even so, Rieve, level 1 Rieve is so good, and you can do so much with Rieve no matter what level you are. So if you were to spend Hunter Fame, I'd give Rieve a miss. I'd just level Rieve in your own time and put it on someone else who is more likely to benefit from being a higher level. And there you go. There is my Rieve for or against. So yes, I think Rieve overall, I would give that a great big thumbs up. Yes, she is a 4. If you have her on your team, if you play as her, very happy to see her. Whereas if you're against her and you're a support, I instantly get worried. So yes, Rieve is very good. If you ever see her, never worry. Hopefully that the person playing them can do their best. But I won't keep you any longer. So if you would like to join the Discord or Patreon, the links are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, this content, and all things Star Wars related, be sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.